Hello, welcome to our channel. This channel deals with the fire journey of a family. Our net worth goal is $5 million. We reached the 5 million milestone. Super surprising it happened this quickly. We're expecting at least another year, but the market have been favorable. So let's see how we got here. So we started tracking, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, our net worth, and this is how we got from 2 million to 5 million with just normal W-2s, and market has been favorable. Expenses, something we have been paying close attention to, so that helps as well. So to reach 5 million, it took us a bit shy of a year or a quarter. I like to look at days because 440 days to earn a million in unrealized gains, of course. Um, it means about $2,000 a day and increasing the net worth. Um, this is power of compounding and boggle hedge strategies. Nothing super special about it. It's just nice to see the numbers. And as you increase your net worth, compounding certainly takes a awesome trajectory. So taking a step back from the absolute numbers, a million is certainly impressive, but what's more impressive is this is a 25% growth and on the year and a quarter. So imagine if this continues. Um, we're not in the one more year syndrome, but it is certainly nice to see this sort of change, especially as we compare it to the other milestones. And let's take a look at those. So to reach 4 million, it took us 2.5 years, which is 940 days precisely. So it's a bit more than 2.5 years. So let's see how the 4 million is compared to the 3 million. Because doing this 2 years, you can see in the previous slide, the net worth has actually dipped. So we started at 3 million, it got to I think 2.6 at the worst, and now we're over 4. So it's pretty long, but because we had that small recession, maybe we're still having it. The market don't behave like that, but the markets don't tell the whole story. But yeah, for now, let's see how the 3 years, 3 million went. So just something to keep in mind before we dive into 3 versus 4. So to get from 3 to 4, it's 33% growth. To get from 2 to 3, it's 50% growth. So let's look at the numbers, but that's even more impressive now. So to get from 2 to 3, it took us 495 days, which is 1.3 years, which is half the time it took us to get to 4 million, which means like we grew 50% of our net worth in 1.3 years. Yeah, some of it is due to W2, some of it is due to the markets having their rally, but still pretty impressive to get 50% growth in that time. Um, yeah, which makes us think, so like, will that happen again? Like, let's say today, if our net worth grows in 50% in a year and a half, that brings us over our target. So what's next? So what's next after 5 million, which is our phi number? It happened so much quicker than we expected. So we didn't plan this far ahead. We didn't want to get ahead of ourselves because the market can always take a downturn. And uh, as you saw from 3 to 4, it was substantially longer than 4 to 5, twice as long. Um, so our short-term goals are pretty like simple, just because it's readily available goals while we're figuring out where we want to move to in the next journey of our retirement. So short-term goals is family fund our 5 to 9s. We're not planning on getting into an Ivy League. Because we want them to also have skin in the game if they're going for that route. But we are targeting an in-state school for each one of them with about 100K tuition for each one. It's not a yearly tuition. This is total. We know this will not cover everything. This is by design. We want them to apply for scholarships, try to get their grades up. The only thing we don't want them to do is work because they have to during their school years. If they want internship that help their career, awesome. But if they're just doing it for a paycheck, no, we believe in young people having the leeway to make mistakes or just live their lives. So that's the way we're targeting those. We have one of our kids has a disability that will be a lifelong condition, unfortunately. So there is a option for an ABLE account that we already started funding. We plan to fully fund that. Um, there's two ways to fully fund that, either 100K or 400K, depending on certain conditions and implications. So it's something we are still looking into it, exactly how to fund it and for how long. But also immediately going down to a single W2 at this point, our expense is not that high. A single W2 can actually cover our expenses. So I would call this a semi coast fi. Why is it semi? Because we're not planning on compounding until retirement because we're already at that age. This just gives us the leeway with healthcare, etc., to figure stuff out, especially since we're planning on moving. So this gives us sort of like a hard deadline, or by the time we move, W2s will make no sense, and we'll figure out healthcare at that point.